Welcome back. This is lesson 5-2, my second lesson in the fifth module on operations with decimals. This lesson is about adding and subtracting decimals. We need to remember that anytime we add or subtract decimals, that we have to line up our decimal points. That means that no matter how many digits each number has, no matter where there are blank spaces or empty spaces, we always button up our shirt or line up our decimal points, and then we solve our answer. So let's take a look at an example. That's the easiest way to me to show you what you need to do. It says Harlow ran 3.45 miles on Tuesday and 2.035 miles on Wednesday. How many miles did she run in total? First thing I do is line up my numbers so that my decimal points are in a straight line. 3.45 is here on top. 2.035 is on the bottom. When we multiply or when we add decimals, doesn't matter which number's on top and which number's on the bottom as long as you line up your decimal points. When we do that, we have this blank space here. So in order to fill that space, we just put a 0 there because the 0 has no value. So it's just like there's nothing there. It doesn't change anything about the number. I can keep adding zeros to this decimal all I want, and it doesn't change the value of the decimal. And then we add. 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 4 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. Bring our decimal point straight down, and we put that decimal point right in there. And then what I have is my answer. So that means in total, she ran 5.485 miles. It's that simple. Make sure you line up your decimal points. Make sure you put placeholder zeros in any place where you do not have a digit that lines up. Add them. Record your answer. Pause the video, try the next 4 problems on your own, come back, I'll go over them. So hopefully you tried these 4 problems on your own in your notes. Come back here and let's go over them. So what we have for this first problem, sorry about that. What we have here for this first problem is 0.42 plus 0.23 or 42 hundredths plus 23 hundredths. First thing I do is set up my problem so that my decimal points are lined up. And I add. 2 plus 3 is 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. 0 plus 0 is 0. Decimal point straight to the bottom. And my answer is 0.65. Second problem. I do the same thing. Line up my decimal points. Okay, I have a blank spot here. So I want to put in a placeholder 0 in that blank spot. Then I add 0 plus 5, 4 plus 5, 6 plus 3, 0 plus 0. My answer is 0.995 or 995 thousandths. Number 3, I have 4.1 plus 2.77. Let me rewrite that over a little bit further to the side. All right, as you can see, I rewrote onto the right side of my problem. I put a placeholder 0 in so that I do not get confused, and then I just add 0 plus 7, 7. 1 plus 7 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. My decimal point comes straight down in the same spot. My answer is 6.87. And the last problem. I'm going to write my problem now. I have placeholder zeros all over the place here. 0 plus 9, 0 plus 1, 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry my 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus the 1 I carried is 4. 2 plus 0, 1 plus 0. Decimal point straight down. My answer is 124 and 19 thousandths. Okay. You're going to find now on our next problems that the rules for subtracting is exactly the same as the rule for addition. Line up your decimal points, subtract, bring your decimal point straight down, and you have your answer. So like I said, the procedure for subtracting decimals is the same as adding decimals. Let's look at an example. It says Reese is 4.056 feet tall. Hallie is 3.95 feet tall. How much taller is Reese than Hallie? How much taller or how many more is a key that I'm going to subtract. So I write in Reese's height at 4.056 feet. I place Hallie's feet at 3.95 in my problem. I put a placeholder 0 right here because there's a missing digit. And then I subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 5 minus 5 is 0. I have to borrow because you cannot do 0 minus 9. So I get a 3. This becomes 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. That means that my answer is that Reese is 0.106 feet taller than Hallie. Again, pause the video, try the next 4 on your own, come back to the video, and I will go over the answers with you. First example, first thing I want to do is I want to write my problem out. 35.6 minus 9.35. I want to put placeholder zeros where there is nothing. And then I want to subtract. I cannot do 0 minus 5. I have to borrow. That becomes 5. This becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. Decimal point in. I cannot do 5 minus 9. Have to borrow for my 3. That becomes 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. 2 minus nothing is 2. My answer is 26.25. Second one. 8.4 minus 3.07. Placeholder 0. Then I subtract. Decimal point straight down. My answer is 5.33. Hopefully you've seen the pattern. This isn't too bad. Just be sure you line up your decimal points and just be sure you put in your placeholder zeros. That way you don't accidentally borrow from somewhere you shouldn't, or you don't end up with a larger or smaller number than you should because your decimal points aren't lined up correctly, which I see all the time. 9 minus 1 is 8. 5 minus 4 is 1. Decimal point straight down. We get 0.18. And the last one. Hopefully you've seen the pattern. If you made any mistakes, you found your mistakes. It's as simple as line up your decimal points, put in your placeholder zeros, then add or subtract. Hopefully you don't have any questions. If you do, please ask me, leave a comment. If you don't have these notes, they're available in my Teacher Pay Teacher store. You can get access to them. Do whatever you have to do.